In the summer of 1969, 500 million people watched in awe as Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon.
2, 1, 0, all engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
The Cold War space race had been a duel between superpowers, a contest of ideology wrapped in science and spectacle. Back then, space was the domain of governments. Rockets were symbols of national pride, not private profit. Fast forward 50 years, and the launch pads tell a very different story. Today, the men racing to the stars aren't presidents or generals. They're billionaires. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, 3 titans of industry who built their fortunes on cars, e-commerce, and airlines, now competing to conquer the skies. To some, it looks like vanity. Grown men with too much money playing with toys that explode. But peel back the spectacle, and a new truth emerges. Space has become one of the most important businesses of the 21st century. From satellites that power your smartphone to trillion-dollar asteroids waiting to be mined, the economics of orbit are staggering. So why does everyone want a rocket? The answer is part money, part power, and part something far deeper in the human psyche. The original space race was a geopolitical struggle. The United States and the Soviet Union weren't worried about satellite TV or space tourism. They were worried about missiles, prestige, and proving which system, capitalism or communism, was destined to rule. NASA's Apollo program cost the US government over $25 billion in 1960s dollars, about $280 billion today. It was, in essence, a blank check for science, politics, and symbolism. No private company could have shouldered such costs. And for decades afterward, space remained the playground of nations. The Space Shuttle program, Russia's Soyuz capsules, Europe's Ariane rockets, all were funded, operated, and managed by governments. Launching payloads into orbit was so expensive, up to $18,500 per kilogram, that the idea of private space ventures seemed absurd. That is, until the late 1990s and early 2000s. As the dot-com boom created a new class of tech billionaires, ambition shifted. Suddenly, people with near unlimited wealth and an appetite for disruption started asking, if we can privatize the internet, why not space?
In the history of spaceflight, only 4 entities have launched a space capsule into orbit and successfully brought it back to the Earth: the United States, Russia, China, and Elon Musk. Mr. Musk is a wealthy internet entrepreneur who has vowed to revolutionize space exploration by bringing down the astronomical costs. Musk is one of the contenders vying for a NASA contract to build America's next manned spacecraft, a contest he believes he has the right stuff to win.
Elon Musk, SpaceX. In 2002, Elon Musk founded SpaceX with a simple but audacious goal: to reduce the cost of spaceflight and eventually colonize Mars. His early rockets, the Falcon 1, failed spectacularly 3 times in a row. By 2008, SpaceX was nearly bankrupt. Then, in a last-chance launch, Falcon 1 succeeded.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We're in stage 1.
Liftoff indication. We have liftoff.
NASA awarded Musk a $1.6 billion contract for resupply missions to the International Space Station. The breakthrough wasn't just survival, it was innovation. Musk's obsession with reusability changed the economics of space. Instead of discarding rockets after one launch, SpaceX engineered boosters that land back on Earth, ready to fly again. Costs plummeted from tens of thousands per kilogram to under $2,000 per kilogram and falling. Today, SpaceX dominates the launch market, but rockets are just the beginning. With Starlink, a massive constellation of more than 6,000 satellites, Musk is building a global internet provider that could generate $30 to $50 billion annually, a cash cow to fund his Mars dreams. For Musk, space isn't just business, it's legacy. He wants to be remembered as the man who made humanity a multiplanetary species. Jeff Bezos. Blue Origin. If Musk is the showman, Bezos is the long-term planner. Blue Origin was actually founded in 2000, 2 years before SpaceX, but moved slowly and quietly, funded by Bezos selling $1 billion of Amazon stock every year. His philosophy is different. Earth is the best planet. We should protect it. Bezos envisions moving heavy industry into space to preserve Earth's environment, while humans live and work in giant orbital colonies, so-called O'Neill cylinders. Blue Origin's rockets, like New Shepard and New Glenn, aren't yet as commercially successful as SpaceX, but Bezos has patience. His wealth allows him to play the very long game. If Musk is racing, Bezos is laying down infrastructure, betting that future economies will need orbital highways, lunar logistics, and space factories. Then there's Richard Branson, the flamboyant entrepreneur behind Virgin Airlines and Virgin Records. Branson's Virgin Galactic is less about colonization or satellites, and more about experience. For $450,000 a ticket, passengers board a spaceplane, soar to the edge of the atmosphere, experience a few minutes of weightlessness, and gaze down at Earth's curvature. It's not mass market, but it's aspirational. Virgin Galactic is essentially selling bragging rights, the ultimate luxury adventure for the wealthy. Branson frames it as democratizing space, but with only a few hundred passengers so far, it remains an ultra-exclusive club. The billionaire rivalry makes headlines, but the deeper story is economics. Satellites, the new oil. The true gold rush isn't space tourism, it's satellites. Global finance, agriculture, weather prediction, navigation, and communication all depend on orbital infrastructure. In 2023 alone, more than 2,800 satellites were launched. By 2030, analysts expect 60,000 active satellites in orbit. SpaceX's Starlink already operates thousands, offering internet in remote regions. Amazon's Project Kuiper plans 3,236 satellites. Governments and militaries are pouring billions into orbital defense systems. The global satellite market is worth $280 billion annually and growing. In many ways, whoever controls orbital infrastructure will control the future of the digital economy. Space tourism, the billionaire theme park. Tourism makes for great PR but small numbers. Virgin Galactic's tickets at $450,000 sell exclusivity. Blue Origin's New Shepard carried William Shatner to space. SpaceX offers trips to orbit at a staggering $55 million per passenger. Is it profitable? Not yet. But it captures public imagination, attracts investors, and positions these companies as pioneers. For billionaires, it's less about ticket sales and more about storytelling. Space mining, the trillion-dollar dream. Perhaps the most ambitious prize is asteroid mining. NASA estimates that a single metal-rich asteroid could contain $10 trillion worth of platinum, nickel, or rare earth metals. In the 2010s, startups like Planetary Resources and Deep Space Industries tried and failed. Technology wasn't ready, and launch costs were too high. But with reusable rockets, the economics are shifting. Imagine a future where platinum and gold aren't mined from the Earth, but hauled down from space. It sounds like science fiction, but it could one day make today's billionaires look small time. The economics explain part of it, but not all. There's something more primal driving this race. Humans have always been explorers. We crossed oceans, climbed Everest, dived to the Mariana Trench. Space is simply the next frontier. The difference is that governments no longer hold the monopoly. Billionaires, with the resources of small nations, now play the role of explorers. And yes, ego is at the heart of it. Rockets are the ultimate status symbol. Yachts, islands, and private jets pale in comparison to putting your name on a spacecraft. Musk wants Mars colonies. Bezos wants orbital factories. Branson wants to sell space as an adventure brand. Each billionaire sees space as both legacy and identity. They're not just building businesses, they're writing themselves into history. The space economy today is worth about $500 billion. By 2040, Morgan Stanley projects it could surpass $1 trillion. But the real figure may be even higher if mining, manufacturing, and tourism scale. We stand at the dawn of what some call the orbital century. Satellites will shape communication. Space-based solar power could feed clean energy to Earth. Manufacturing in zero gravity might unlock new medicines and materials. And yes, asteroid mining could rewrite the global economy. But the rise of billionaire space companies also raises hard questions. Who owns the sky? Should orbital highways and lunar resources be controlled by private corporations? What happens if the infrastructure of tomorrow is monopolized by a handful of men with rockets? Half a century ago, the space race was about flags on the moon. Today, it's about profits, platforms, and power. Billionaires don't want rockets just because they look cool. They want them because space is the next internet, the next oil rush, the next frontier of empire. And while ego and spectacle grab the headlines, the deeper truth is that the business of space is already reshaping the foundations of modern life. So when you see Musk's booster landing upright, or Bezos in a cowboy hat waving from a capsule, remember this: they're not just chasing dreams. They're building the infrastructure of a new world. The real question isn't why billionaires want rockets. It's whether the rest of us are ready for a future where they own the sky.